I major in fashion merchandising and apparel design with emphasis with design. This is my second semester being a senior, so I'm going to be graduating in May. Let's Get Dressed exhibit is curated by Addie Martindale, and basically she wanted to show all different types of students that are here at GSU. Everyone here exists, and personally, basically showcasing like their differences, similarities, and just sharing honestly what does the student body here at Georgia Southern have. I would have to say video games honestly inspired me to get into fashion, and because I always wanted to like dress up in a way that I wish I saw people who looked like me growing up, because I never was able to see that stuff in media until recently. Like, fashion design was something I knew I wanted to do since I was a kid. And I was actually gonna come here for history actually, and because I thought that was like the safe option, because I never got that much encouragement into going into design. I was just drawing some designs one day, and like a substitute teacher, they usually substitutes every now and then, she looked at my stuff, she's like, you really need to go for this. Basically, I made a cosplay because I'm into cosplay, and cosplay is basically like, dressing up, as a favorite sort of character from media. It was the Sonic premiere, like it was Sonic 2. There was a lot of college kids there as well, and we all got up to leave, the lights were on, and everyone could see each other. Someone yelled out, oh my gosh, are you cosplaying as Amy Rose? And I was like, yeah, and like everyone started clapping for me. I keep forgetting like how amazing that probably is to like wake up one day and say, I'm going to create something and actually go all the way to publish it. So next semester, Dr. Martindale was like, hey, like she sent that whole email outreach to everyone, saying, hey, just talk about yourself and what you wear and why. And, I put my information in, and she called me. She said, well, why don't you put just pick one cosplay that you're really proud of, and yeah, and here we are. And what I personally like is that some people, especially in here, express in their styles and designs stuff that was originally, even give it take 5 years ago, may have not been, openly accepted. There's some students here who have presented stuff in here that were bullied or like, mistreated because they enjoyed this stuff. So the fact that they were able to share it in a safe space in this museum on this Georgia Southern campus is like, it's wow to me. Growing up, I was one of those kids that did get bullied for being different and stuff like that. I just want this museum to be basically saying there are people who dress the way they want to dress, and they exist, and they have a right to exist. People, especially today, who want to say some people don't dress in the way they want to dress, like for example, men wearing dresses, even though men wearing dresses was actually the first thing. Men wore dresses first, men wore boots first. I don't want people to go, well, that did not exist back then. Well, it existed today, it existed back then, and it's going to probably exist later on. So basically, I see this museum as a statement of like, we're here, we exist, and we're going to be ourselves no matter what. Dr. Martindale really made sure no one's privacy got, like out there, anything like that. I feel like it takes a lot of bravery to see an email talking about, talk about yourself and be completely honest, and you willingly to click on it, put all your information, basically being vulnerable, and basically saying, I'm going to step out of my comfort shell, share all this stuff on a Google form, and also be able to share a piece of yourself. Every student here has shared a part of themselves, knowing that it might get critiqued. It might be, seen as you don't know what's gonna happen. Fine, I think that's the special thing about this. Everyone here is being vulnerable with themselves and with people they probably will never meet, but they know that these people most likely, if not always, probably will be inspired by them. Fashion means being vulnerable to your outside appearance of who you want to show and who you want to be. I want people to come in here and maybe see themselves and know that's okay, and some people may not even look, anything like any of the people they see in here, but still know that how they are is still valid. It doesn't matter if you're camp or you're basic, nothing's wrong with either or, but as long as you're yourself, that's all that matters, and that's what's being celebrated here.